Okay, this is gonna be the last video of the day. Um, what next I want to look at is Shakespeare, is page 15, which is Act 3, Scene 3. Um, Shakespeare is often said to be the greatest writer of all time. I actually believe that. And I'm obsessed with Shakespeare, and I've read all of his plays and studied all of his plays. I'm really into Shakespeare. Um, Act 3, Scene 3 of Othello is one of Shakespeare's greatest moments. So Shakespeare's already the greatest author. Othello is one of his greatest plays, and Act 3, Scene 3 is one of the greatest things Shakespeare does in his entire career. It is a complete showstopper. It's a totally amazing thing that I'm going to spend next class getting into. For now, I just want to kind of briefly introduce it. And I would ask you this, study it. Just look at it ahead of time. Read Act 3. Just read Act 3, Scene 3. It's page 15, 16, 17. Just read those pages. It is a truly amazing scene. In the movie, it is the conversation between Iago and Othello, where Iago tells Othello that he thinks Cassio and Desdemona are sleeping together. Um, in the movie, they have this conversation in different locations, right? They're fighting with swords, fake swords outside, kind of practice fighting, and then they have this conversation in like the armory, and later on Othello's getting ready for a party, and Iago's talking to him, and later on there's a scene, I think, of Othello and Iago sitting somewhere else having a conversation, because this conversation has taken place over days. But in Shakespeare, it's clear that it's just one long conversation. Basically, Othello is perfectly happy with Desdemona and loves her and thinks things are going great. And Iago has a long conversation with Othello that is Act 3, Scene 3. And by the end of that conversation, Othello's whole world is destroyed. So it's really a Shakespeare masterpiece to watch how much he destroys. And so all I want to do is just introduce this scene really quick today. It's just to say, if it was me, I would just be like, hey, Othello, Desdemona's cheating on you with Cassio. But that wouldn't work. It's because, first of all, Othello would either do two things. He would go, I don't think that's true. I don't believe you. Um, or he would be like, well, let's check. Let me ask her. Let's ask Cassio. Let's find out. What's interesting about the scene here is that Iago doesn't directly come out and say that. He's much, much sneakier. So just as a brief introduction, I'm on the bottom of page 15 here, and I just want to show you this part right here. Um, it's really simple. Desdemona and Cassio were talking about, getting his job back. Perfectly innocent. Um, and Cassio leaves Desdemona. And Iago and Othello are walking up, and they can kind of see them talking, but they're pretty far away. And all Cassio does is he just walks away from Desdemona, right? And Iago, the first thing Iago says to get this started is he says, "Ha! Well, I like not that. What dost thou say? Nothing, my lord. Or if I know not what. Was that not Cassio parted from my wife? Cassio, my lord? Well, no, sure, I cannot think that he would steal so guilty like. See, you're coming. Um, I do believe it was he. And then Desdemona says something. Who is it you mean? And she says, oh, it was Cassio. This is an amazing, amazing piece of sneakiness. Is first thing Iago does to get this idea, so he's got to kind of sneak. If he tells Othello directly, Othello either is not going to believe him or he's going to go get proof. And there's no proof because it's all lies. So Iago he sees Cassio leave Othello and he says, he sees Cassio leave Desdemona and he says, oh, I don't like that. And Othello's like, what are you talking about? He says, nothing. You see how that already is going to get your curiosity up? That's already going to make you worry something's wrong. And then Iago says, or if, I know not what. Like he's really building up a thing. And Othello says, was that Cassio that left my wife? And Iago says, Cassio? No, it's not Cassio. Cassio wouldn't sneak away like a guilty person. I don't think Cassio would act like that. And then, of course, when they walk up, he says to Desdemona, who was that? And Desdemona says it was Cassio. Do you see how that's a sneaky way of getting Othello to think Cassio is guilty of something without actually saying that thing out loud? All he says is, "Oh boy, I don't like the way that guy left your wife." What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. Or if, well, I don't know. We know, was that Cassio? No, Cassio wouldn't sneak away like a guilty man. Cassio's a good guy. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't sneak. Was the guy sneaking away from Desdemona like a sneaky guy? Probably not. But Iago makes it just like he made a regular kiss on the hand seem like something worse. He makes just Cassio leaving Desdemona seem like it's sneaky. And then when Othello comes up and says, "Who was that with you?" It turns out to be Cassio. And do you see how that puts the thought in Othello's head? Othello starts putting it together himself. If you told him directly, he'd reject it. But now the idea's in his head without him even realizing it. He kind of snuck it in on there, and it's a great example of irony. Because Iago says, that's not Cassio. Cassio wouldn't move away from your wife sneaky like that. He probably just walked away normally. Cassio wouldn't do that. And then, of course, it is Cassio. That's a great use of irony, because essentially what Iago says is, Cassio wouldn't do that. And it puts the idea in Othello's head that he would. All right, I'll see you guys next time.